Welcome to our channel, where we dive deep into today's most controversial and often mind-bending moments. In this video, we're taking a look at some of the most eye-opening, jaw-dropping exchanges that reveal what happens when certain ideas clash with a hard dose of reality. From politicians challenging teachers to heated talk show debates, these clips show what can happen when people are put to the test on their beliefs. So, buckle up and prepare for some moments that might just make you question everything.
So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you're denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this, where
No,
they're
they're
told
allowed
that
to
they're
question me.
opening up people to violence?
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning?
class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just in this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
Are you implying that only women can become pregnant? Was the senator's inquiry. Many cis women have the capacity for pregnancy, but there are also trans men and non-binary people who can, explained the teacher. The senator shot back, "So you think I'm being transphobic for asking if women can have babies?" It got even crazier when the teacher accused him of opening up trans people to violence just for asking questions. She finally asked, "Do you think men have the ability to bear children?" And the senator answered confidently, "No, I don't think that men can get pregnant." The teacher, confused, attempted to spin his statement, but he rebutted, "You should join my class. You may benefit from it." This interaction is a good example of the dynamics of conceptualization and disarray that is typically depicted in identity-based discussions.
We've got Charlie here and we've got Alex, and they've got two bowls here, right?
Oh, Lord.
One is full of vegetables and one is full of meat.
Oh, amen.
Storm,
Right.
Storm, we
Don't
hate
try
to
to
put the
leave.
temptation in front of you,
You
but
ready
so
for
would you.
lunch, Storm?
Right?
Oh, I'm
Let her go.
Should I
really
let her go?
Let her go.
Oh, she's obviously going to go. Obviously. Oh, you little...
Yes.
I didn't swear.
Oh, and there is
Oh, no.
natural
Oh, no.
selection.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's
no.
checking it out. Well, in fairness, the weather has cooled down quite dramatically.
Yes, of course it has.
Imagine stating during a talk show that your pet is a dog but prefers vegan sausages, or for that matter, any animal meat, to a hungry dog that is totally misrepresenting the feeding habits of dogs. However, one of the guests on that particular show went even further and made even bolder claims about her dog's preferences. However, when the host decided to verify her claims, things did not exactly work according to her plan. The moment was rife with suspense when the dog was asked to sniff both dishes, one vegan and the other cuisine abundant in meat. The woman seemed very hopeful. "Oh, she is going to go for it, of course." But to her surprise, the dog ran straight for the meat. The expression on the woman's face was priceless, yet said everything. Her braised statement seemed to have disintegrated in a twinkle of an eye. And this was not only cringeworthy, but it also served as a clear reminder that there is a thin line between exaggerating and claiming the impossible. So whether it's about how you think your pet is nourished on a daily basis, or if it is a debate on stage, be ready for surprises. Bizarre incidents may occur, and what appeared coherent and logical at the presentation may happen to ridicule you, leaving you wondering about everything. As a rule, it is better to provide some proof with your claims, or at least be aware of the particular audience you are dealing with.
Life expectancy has increased over time, which we would expect. But for one group, since 2000s up until now, life expectancy has actually decreased. This is middle-aged white men. The reason for this is actually mostly self-induced.
Sure. So life expectancy has nearly doubled since 1900.
No, I'm talking about specifically
right,
for white
so-
men since 2000s
Correct. So if
who
you
are
could let me
middle-aged.
finish the sentence without getting 6 words into it, I let you talk about whatever you wanted to talk about. The byproduct of why white men are having lower life expectancy since 2000 is self-induced.
In the latest battle of words, Charlie Kirk was pitted against two woke activists, and obviously the debate could not be tamed and things went off course almost immediately. The discussion began especially concentrating on middle-aged white males. Gender and life expectancy was one of the issues they shelled out. Everybody knows how Charlie said this. Men in this group have been actually dying younger since the year 2000, and this can be attributed to numerous factors, including decisions made like negative health decisions. As one of the activists attempted to refute the claim, Charlie did remember to rebuke her and tell her that heart disease is, in fact, the #1 killer, so simply put, deal with it. The arguments reached a boiling point when Charlie continued to cite case after case saying everyone else had advanced except for white men who were engaging in activities that were detrimental to their health. The minute one activist tried to redirect the issue, she was rebuffed by Charlie, and the tension in the room was evident. In the end, the activists were left in disarray, and most, if not all, communicable facts did not have a balance in Charlie's statements. So, what is your opinion? These kinds of discussions are just warming up the environment, or they serve a deeper purpose and open up people to discuss certain issues.
You cited freedom of speech in that. Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. You know, like you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
Well, I'm very glad I put you on the spot.
Well,
I'm very glad that I've exercised my freedom of speech.
You get my point. It's like,
when it comes to debates about free speech, few do it as well as Jordan Peterson. In a heated exchange with a BBC reporter, he really flipped the script on her when she tried to question his views on freedom of speech versus the feelings of trans individuals. He pointed out that, to think critically, one has to be willing to risk offending others. He challenged her directly, saying, "You're certainly willing to risk offending me in pursuit of truth." That's when the reporter started to realize how deeply she had put herself on the spot. But it didn't end there. As she stumbled through her next response, Jordan delivered a killer line. "Ha! Gotcha!"
You're doing what you should do, which is digging a bit to see what the hell's going on.
So
and that is what you should do. But you're exercising your freedom of speech to certainly risk offending me. And that's fine. I think more power to you as far as I'm concerned.
So you haven't sat there and... I'm just trying to work that out. I mean...
Honestly, it's a moment that perfectly captures the essence of intellectual debate. While the reporter was left searching for a comeback, Jordan reminded us that true discourse means embracing discomfort. And hey, sometimes you just have to let the truth speak for itself. So, a recent episode featuring feminist guests took an unexpected turn when a viewer asked the women to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. Talk about opening a can of worms.
We got one question here. Okay, we got this one. Stifler, ask the ladies to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10. We'll go around really quick. Go ahead.
What do we...
Your looks, your appearance, 1 to 10.
I think I'm a 10, and I think everyone's a 10.
Okay.
I'd say I'm a 10 as well, same with everybody here on this panel.
Yeah, definitely a 10.
You know, I'd call myself a good 9.5, but I think everybody else is a 10, so.
I don't think perfection should be rated on a scale, but a 10.
Each lady chimed in, confidently declaring themselves a perfect 10, with one saying, "I think I'm a 10, and I think everyone's a 10. It was all fun and games until they got into the math of beauty. The host pushed back, asking if being a 10 meant there were no women more attractive than them. The conversation quickly shifted to whether using a scale is even useful. One guest argued, "I think it's really stupid to rate ourselves," emphasizing that beauty is subjective.
So many people could be beautiful, but I feel like the scale is a stupid way to calculate that, if that makes sense.
So you're thinking a numerical rating system from 1 to 10 is a stupid way to assess physical attractiveness.
Yes.
You take issue with it.
Yes.
Or you just think it's stupid. Okay.
I just think it's stupid.
Okay.
I think there are definitely more, there are women that are more attractive than me, but I think using a scale to measure anyone in general is not really the best because everyone, like she said, has different types, but also...
They all seem to agree that while they see themselves as 10s, that doesn't take away from the fact that others can be attractive too. It felt like a moment straight out of a participation trophy debate, everyone's a winner. But hey, maybe it's okay to embrace the idea that beauty isn't a competition. In a recent episode of Dr. Phil, things got heated when a group of pro-trans teens argued about how schools should support trans students, including providing tampons for trans men. Yeah, you heard that right.
Men do not menstruate. Only women menstruate. Now, you can call yourself whatever you want.
Cis men don't menstruate, but trans men do menstruate.
No,
Same
they
as
don't.
non-binary people.
Only women.
Menstruating is not exclusive
Yes,
to
it
cis
is.
women. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
So explain to me as to why my body menstruated at
If
some
your
point
chromosomes are XX and you're young, you menstruate. If you're XY, you don't.
Correct, but what about trans men and non-binary?
They're
We're
not men.
excluding a whole group of
They're
people here
women
that
dressed
menstruate.
as men. You are not a man. You can pretend to be a man, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Live your life. Tell me what a man is.
Well, what's a man to you? You define a man for me.
You have chromosomes that are X and Y. That's what a man is.
One teen passionately claimed that making tampons available for those who menstruate is essential. But Dr. Phil pushed back hard, pointing out, men do not menstruate. Only women menstruate. This sparked a fierce debate about what it means to be a man. The teens struggled to define manhood when Dr. Phil asked for clarity. You can pretend to be a man, and that's perfectly fine, but tell me what a man is, he challenged. The back and forth continued, with Dr. Phil emphasizing that gender identity and biological sex aren't entirely separate.
You have to argue for it. You're just giving a conclusion. You're just making it up. The people who hate the truth, are because they see the truth as hateful. If you want to identify in any way you can, you're free to do so. But that does not mean that the rest of us have to join that illusion. You disagree, I disagree with you, and so you call it hate. But there's no hate in my heart at all.
Despite their disagreement, he calmly explained that questioning these ideas doesn't come from hate. People who hate the truth see it as hateful, he said. It was a powerful moment, and you could feel the tension in the room. In the end, it was clear who came out on top in that debate. Dr. Phil nailed it! Thanks for watching. We hope these clips gave you some food for thought and maybe even a new perspective on what's happening in today's social debates. Let us know in the comments which moment surprised you the most, or share your own thoughts on these topics. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe for more content where we keep things real, and we'll see you in the next one.